The big game this week on the weekend preseason slate, I mean that honestly, by the way, is Steelers-Seahawks. Quarterback back. Like, if you genuinely can watch Pittsburgh Seahawks probably start to finish with a level of intrigue. The Steelers are going to be able to give you Mitchell Trubisky on to Mason Rudolph and then on to Kenny Pickett, which very well could last the entirety of the game. The Seattle Seahawks, though, is where I want to start with this, because we just made the point on Brissett and Watson. You can't leave Brissett out there too long because that's going to be your starting quarterback. How long do you think Geno's going to start? How long is Drew Lock going to be allowed to play? Do you think the second half is going to be all Jacob Eason, one quarter for Geno, one quarter for Drew Lock?
I think it sets up that way. I really do. Maybe even a little bit less for those two quarterbacks and more of, let's just say, Jacob Eason at this point. But it is the one game that does have intrigue because as we joke around the other games, like who's actually coming in, there are guys fighting for jobs. And anytime you have that, that means you owe it to the players, talking about the coaching staffs, Kevin, to put them in the best possible position. Now, you're going to run plays that you're going to use in week 4 to try to surprise the defense? Absolutely not. But you're going to give them equal opportunity. You're not going to say, Geno Smith, you're starting. You're going to get 2 series. We're going to throw a pass on every down. And then, but I want to see how Drew Lock integrates the running game in. That's not going to happen here. And it'll be unfair to the players. The same thing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mitchell Trubisky is going to get that start. And then behind him is going to come in Rudolph. And you're going to see, obviously, the young kid, Kenny Pickett. But they're going to do the same thing. You're not going to say, well, I let this guy shine. He threw, 11 passes. And then Mason Rudolph came in the game and threw 3 passes. That's not going to happen. So usually when you see that where there's jobs on the line, you get a more crisp game plan from the actual offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators for coming out in this game. So if I'm looking for a total, usually it's all unders. I would go over in this because I just think you're going to get honest performances and honest play calls and also jobs on the line. There's nobody coming in this game going, well, what? Hey, I'm just going to have some fun out here because I know I'm not going to take a single snap this year. Some of these guys could get 17 weeks, Kevin, out of good performances in the preseason.